looks maxing, more like sleep maxing. Am I right, guys? But I came to this realization that you need to maximize your inner autism, bro. You need to maximize your inner autism that we all have. Or if you're already autistic, you need to up this. You need to start upping this, okay? And we do this through altered states and sleep states, not just like lucid dreaming, not just using lucid dreaming to goon and fuck anyone you want, which is great, of course, but also the states going to sleep and coming out of sleep, like hypnagogic imagery, you know, when you're having hallucinations and your brain kind of starts going off on tangents and acting like itself, and it kind of starts acting really weird when you're going to sleep. That's hypnagogia. You can use those states to do so many things, and people just do not use this untapped raw power, okay, that they have. They don't take advantage of these states. And I came to this realization last night that when you're falling asleep and before sleep, when you're coming out of sleep, anything to do with sleep, these states are begging you to take advantage of them, bro. They want you to fucking dominate them. They want to be dominated, bro. They're submissive as shit. But I'm being for real, because when I say they're like autistic, those are not words from my own mouth, okay? I was reading, this will be kind of unstructured, but I was reading this large ass thesis on hypnagogia. This guy got a bunch of info and study on hypnagogia. I didn't know that shit was that deep, but like apparently it is. And a researcher called the mode of thinking, which is hypnagogia. So as you're falling asleep, that weird kind of schizo ranting, he called that autistic. And another person called that magical childlike thinking. You're basically going back to childlike thinking if you can be aware of hypnagogia. And that's completely true. And we need that autistic childlike thinking, bro. Because why do they call it that? You're completely absorbed in fantasy. You're not thinking about the outside world at all. You're in a receptive mode of thinking. That's what it's called. When you're not concerned with the outside world, you're not striving to do anything in the outside world, you're completely absorbed in your mind. So much so that sometimes you will completely separate from your ego and just be absorbed in like the image you're having in hypnagogic imagery. Now, I say we need to take advantage of this because people don't realize whether you're remembering dreams or not, and everyone has dreams every night, whether you remember them or not, what's happening in your dreams is literally affecting your whole fucking life. What's happening while you're sleeping is affecting your next day. And I realize this because firstly I should say as well, think of astral projection, telepathy, anything psychic, anything occult, reality shifting, manifestation, whether you believe in them or not, because I don't believe in all of those, but whether you believe in them or not, what do they all have in common? What do all these weird fucking schizo powers have in common, bro? They're mainly done around sleep. Like astral projection techniques are done as you're falling asleep, basically. They're very similar to lucid dreaming techniques. A lot of reality shifting techniques are done around sleep. Manifestation techniques, the main one, state akin to sleep, which is when before you go to sleep and you're in a drowsy state, you think about what you want as if you already have it, and then law of attraction manifestation motherfuckers will be like, oh, that will attract things into your life and whatever. But no, that shit is so real because it literally affects your subconscious brain. Why does, before you go to sleep and you're in a drowsy state before you sleep, why does thinking about what you want and thinking positively about things as you fall asleep, why would that have any effect on your brain? It's because as you're going into hypnagogia, bro, your brain is extremely open because your inhibitions are lower. That's why before you sleep, that's like a creativity hotspot because you don't have all these walls up in your brain. So when you're falling asleep, your brain can literally become schizophrenic freely in a safe, controlled manner and kind of go off on tangents. And I noticed this when I was doing manifestation exercises when I was younger, because I was so broke and my life was so shit, I was having to do the fucking $1 surveys. You know, do this survey for $1. It takes like 3 hours, but at least I got $1 from doing a fucking survey. My point is my life was so fucking ass, bro. So I was doing the manifestation shit. And because I have good above average dream recall, I realized that this was affecting me the next day. Because I would I would do one of these manifestation exercises as I was going to sleep. And so I would be thinking positively about things and like, oh, I have a bunch of friends, I'm rich and whatever. I was just being delusional. But then I realized in my dreams, whether I was gonna remember them or not, I was having dreams where I was more confident and more positive and more happy. And of course, your dreams affect you the next day, bro. I don't know if you've ever had a thing where there's someone in your life or at your school or whatever that you don't actually give a fuck about. Like, you don't really think about them, but you may have a dream about this person, and then the next day you have a fucking crush on them, or like you're thinking about them a lot. I don't know if you've ever had that, but that's actually a thing people have. That's because your dreams have so much effect on your waking life that you don't even realize. And so literally what you implant in your brain before or as you're falling asleep will affect your dreams, and your dreams will affect you your whole next day. So that's why if you have a really shitty nightmare, that's gonna kind of make your day feel shit for a lot of people. And my point is everyone has access to these altered states. Not even lucid dreaming. You don't even have to put in effort to lucid dream. If you just start falling asleep with the kind of intention in the back of your head to be aware of your hypnagogic imagery and pay attention to what happens when what happens to your brain when you start falling asleep, you will be able to access this altered state where you are more creative, when you have access to your brain going off on tangents, and it can even be used for dream interpretation. Because what's a better state to interpret dreams you've had in the past than literally a fucking half dreaming state, bro? And Carl Jung, that was that the guy who thought we were attracted to women because of our mother, or was that Sigmund Freud? I don't remember which one it was, but like Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, they were kind of friends or whatever. And Carl Jung had that thing on active imagination, active imagination. So he kind of entered this schizophrenic state. It's literally like a schizophrenic state while he was awake, and he was able to kind of explore his subconscious mind and see what his mind was telling him. Bro, that is literally hypnagogia. That is literally fucking hypnagogia. And so you can enter that state as you're falling asleep. My point is, you have access to like all these fucking superpowers basically within you, and most people are retarded, bro. Like, I'm also retarded in that I'm not as creative as I want to be, but we can all be much more creative if we access our autistic, childlike thinking before we go to sleep. And I'm saying this because you do not need to lucid dream to access these really cool states. And you can enter hypnagogia during the day as well. And my point is that, as I said, whether you believe them or not, all these occult things and all this shit, so much of it is centered around your sleep. So do you maybe not think that you should be paying a little more attention to your sleep, bro? A little more attention. And so when you see someone pull up to your school or your work and they're like, bro, I just went 24 hours with sleep, ha ha. Look at them, like, they're retarded, bro. They're fucking just retarded. Okay, so I also saw some researchers theorize that this hypnagogic schizophrenic thinking may have been how our early ancestors thought, like, all the time. So this actually may be an early mode of thinking. Is that not cool as shit that if you're aware of the state as you're falling asleep, where you're getting all these weird images and you become completely absorbed in fantasy, you could literally be accessing a mode of thinking your early ancestors had, bro. Is that not the coolest fucking thing ever? But like, this was just a quick little like unstructured rant. I guess I'm kind of speaking quickly, but there's just so many things to do with sleep, and people don't realize it. They have so much control over their brain if they take advantage of these sleep states. And you don't need to be a fucking monk that goes in the mountains and like meditates. And you don't even need to learn how to lucid dream to access these states. It's if you literally fall asleep, and as you're falling asleep, have a little intention in the back of your head to just be aware of the process of sleeping, you will access these states much easier. And studies show that with hypnagogia, the more you pay attention to your hypnagogic imagery as you're going to sleep, the more you will receive. It's similar to dream recall in that regard, in that the more you dream journal, the more dreams you have every night, bro. So it's like, it's just like this really cool thing that I think most people overlook so much. And once you start reading about these sleep states, it's like kind of a never-ending rabbit hole as well. And so I'm really reading more on this because I want to like make a more in-depth thing on that, but I thought I should just tell you about that. And so there's just like so many fucking things you can use it for. And a lot of people use it for direction in their life because you can ask your hypnagogic imagery, say for example, what should I do in my job? Should I get a new job? Blah, blah, blah. And your brain can a lot of the times give you these really deep, like symbolic answers to that. And think about people who have shit visualization as well. Maybe this is you, like you struggle to see things in your head. Use hypnagogic hallucinations or use hypnopompic hallucinations, bro. When you wake up from a dream, like tomorrow, when you wake up, stay in bed and kind of let your brain run wild. Let your brain remain in that half sleepy dreaming state. You will realize you can visualize shit so easily. And there's some people who say they have aphantasia, so they can't visualize anything. But then they also, a lot of these people have like crystal clear visualization when they're waking up from a dream. So there's just so much like untapped, overlooked shit there to do with sleep. And it affects your waking state much more than people realize. And it's just hard as fuck, bro. Like, it's hard as fuck. And I know I maybe seem like I keep ranting about the same things on sleep, and that's all I talk about, but it's literally a never-ending rabbit hole. So I just wanted to talk about that, like, make an unstructured rant thing. On another note, I mentioned this in a post. This is kind of like an ad. This is kind of an ad. I made a school thing where I condensed the most important lucid dreaming information, in my opinion, into like a 2-hour course thing. So I don't know if you'd be interested in that. If you already lucid dream and have lucid dreams and like don't need personal guidance from me, because you can message me on that thing, you can just ignore this and just like, yeah, just fucking just leave. But like, if you're interested in that, I'll link the thing in the description. You don't need to go on that or whatever. But in saying that, leave me a mean comment, dislike the video, unsubscribe. Never join the Discord. Never ever join the Discord ever. Farewell. I love you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.